everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books and I've developed a cough, so if I sound a bit croaky, apologies. Today's film's very apt. This book is the 12 Topsy-Turvy Very Messy Days of Christmas by James Patterson and Tad Safran. This was an audiobook, so I have been reading it over a couple of days while I've been at work on my lunch breaks, and that is the front cover for the audiobook. It's felt quite short because the duration is 6 hours and 4 minutes. I'm used to audiobooks being like around 8 hours, so it was a little bit shorter, and it's in contemporary fiction, general fiction and literary fiction. Obviously it's Christmas and there's also magical realism in there as well, and this audiobook was read by Chinawa Hawk, which I very much enjoyed the audio. I just have a mad respect for people who do audiobooks and how they're able to characterise, especially when it's just one person reading the book. I've done a couple of books where it's like two people, or they do it kind of like a radio play and there's quite a lot of actors involved. But yeah, I very much enjoyed listening to this book. It is cheesy, it is Christmassy, so if you're not a fan of like cheesy Christmas stories, you probably want to stay away from this one. But I feel like when it comes to Christmas, cheese is just the way to go. It's the best of them are usually very cheesy and I love it. This is a very, very funny book, so I'll just get in with that blurb for you. It's mid-December, and for the 5th year in a row, there is little sign of the festive season in the Sullivans' home in South London. That is, until a mysterious someone starts sending strange gifts to widower Henry and his 2 children. Before they know it, the Sullivans' home is overwhelmed with boisterous animals and house guests, all demanding their attention. The next 12 days turn the Sullivan family's lives upside down in ways they never could have imagined. But even though this Christmas will be messy, it may just be the gift their family needs. So yeah, it's the Sullivans. So you've got Henry, who is the dad, and then you have got Ella, who is 12, and Will, that is 14. So 5 years ago, the matriarch of this family, the mother, passed away, and the family has not been the same since, and it's just put a lot of distance between Henry and his children. His son Will has become a bit of a troublemaker, and it seems their only point of conversation is when Will does something naughty, does something wrong, is expelled from school, that kind of thing. And Ella is a bit of a hypochondriac, and she doesn't do like germs and things, so it's never explicitly stated that she has OCD, but there are elements of a slight obsessive compulsive disorder there. I'm not diagnosing anybody, I'm just saying that the way that Ella is presented, it leads into the idea that maybe she does have OCD. And yeah, so you just got this family of 3, the Sullivans, who have just become a bit distant with each other since the mother passed away. And so, as you can probably guess from the title, the 12 Topsy-Turvy Very Messy Days of Christmas, in the lead up to Christmas, 12 days before Christmas, they start getting random gifts. The thing that starts that off is the fact that Ella and Will are basically put their father on a dating website, and so they put their father's picture onto this website, and they get contact from somebody who appears to be interested in their father, and there's a conversation. But basically, as they are contacting Miss Truelove, as she presents herself online, Henry realises that they're up to something and catches them online talking to this random woman, and he's just like, why on earth have you set me up for this dating website? Because he's not ready to move on yet. And it's that conversation which then sparks the rest of the story of getting the random gifts that appear to be coming from Miss Truelove. How she got their address, they have absolutely no idea. When the kid contacts the dating site and say, we had this conversation, now she's sending us gifts and we don't know what to do. When they contact the website just basically goes, the customer support girl says, there is no user by the name of Miss Truelove on here. And when she tracks down the father's page, she's just there going, actually, you wouldn't have been able to have any conversations because you did not pay to use the site. So only paying users can actually contact each other. So she then starts to think it's a prank and just hangs up on them. It takes them a few days to figure out what's happening in regards to the gifts, because it starts off with a partridge in a pear tree. And then it's not until day 4, I think, that they realise that the gifts are corresponding to the 12 Days of Christmas song. And that's where the point when they're just like, oh, does that mean that day 5 we're going to be getting some gold rings? 5 gold rings. Am I going to get copyrighted for singing that? Then the whole book, they are dealing with the aftermath of receiving everything on the 12 Days of Christmas song list. So you've got like the lords are leaping, when the lords turn up and they're leaping over the wall, and just basically everything just makes its way into their house and their garden. So it's completely overrun, and you realise that in a way it's bringing the family together. So you're just like, oh, what's happening here? They're brought together by chaos happening in their house, and it's either on day 3 or day 4 that a woman called Mariana turns up at the house. She claims to be coming from animal control, and so Henry goes into that thing of thinking that the neighbours have reported them because of all the animals that are taking ownership of their back garden and their house. It's just, I've seen some interesting reviews of this book. To be honest, reading this, I became very aware of some of the issues surrounding James Patterson and the way he writes and collaborates with people, because he does a lot of collaborations where it's implied that the other person does the actual writing, and he just he helps come up with the story a bit, but it's usually the collaborator that does most of the writing, apart from when he did a president book with one of the presidents. I can't remember which one he did it with. It's implied that James Patterson actually did the majority of the writing for that one. But yeah, this is not a deep dive into the into James Patterson. This is just my feelings on this audiobook. And yes, it is cheesy and magical, but it doesn't make it bad. It's just incredibly happy and cheesy, and when you got the magical realism in there as well, in regards to the fact that they have no idea where Miss Truelove is, or if she is actually a real person. Any attempts to look into Miss Truelove just brings them to like dead ends. So it's just the point of just like, is there some kind of magical thing where somebody magical is sending them all these gifts? Like, what is the end goal really in regards to going through the song? But it does put you in a very festive mood. The idea of receiving those kind of gifts every single day leading up to Christmas is, you realise just how chaotic that song actually is. I mean, we already know, just like when you go through, because I know I've done Christmas quizzes where they ask like how many animals and birds and stuff are actually in that song. Looking at each day, you have to remember that they get in everything on like the last day. Just like on the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12, and then it goes through all of it, so you realise they get in everything every single day, whereas this, they just get one of each. So on the first day they get the partridge in the pear tree, on the second day they get the what's 2? 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. Doing it the other way, my brain was stopping. So on the first day they get the partridge in the pear tree, on the second day they get the turtle doves, on the third day they get the French hens, and that's the point where they start to question, and they're just like, wait, what? And then the 4th day happens, and it's just like, oh, so the next one's going to be the gold rings. But this was a really, really nice book to listen to. I really like the reading of it by Chinua Hawke, and it's a lovely, cheesy Christmas book. And you're just seeing the way this family is coming together after 5 years without their mother Katie, seeing how the topsy-turvy, very messy 12 Days of Christmas, how that brings them together. And there might be a little bit of a romance in there as well, as Henry realises he may be allowed to move on. So yeah, the 12 topsy-turvy, very messy days of Christmas. As I said, if you like a good cheesy Christmas story, this is definitely one for you. I really enjoyed the audiobook. Listening to a book just makes it's just a very different experience from actually physically reading a book, and obviously listening to an audiobook allows you to multitask. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed the 7 Days of Christmas with me, Debbie B. I read a lot of books, and I will continue to read a lot of books next year, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you are enjoying my content, and I will see you next time with another video. Stay safe, everybody. Bye!